Josh, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
All right. Thanks to everybody that's joined us. We've got a few folks on. I know more people will join on as time progresses. This is being recorded, so you'll always be able to get back and watch this session. Welcome to our first workshop of the year. I am Dr. Isaac Addae, Chief Strategy Officer of Pivot Technology School. I'm also joined today by our co-founder and CEO, Joshua Mundy. And we organized this workshop because we wanted to talk with you about what we're doing to help diversify the technology industry. We know that there's a lot happening out there in the world. Since 2019, Pivot has been making consistent efforts. We found a model that works. And so we want to share a little bit about who we are and what we're doing as it relates to tech diversity. So the way that this presentation or workshop will flow, we'll give you some background on Pivot. We'll talk about our programs, and then we'll jump right into what's happening in the tech industry, what we're seeing in terms of the dilemma and how we're addressing it from a strategy perspective. We'll then also talk about our success stories, some partners, some of the things we've been covered about in terms of the news, and then we'll leave some opportunity for questions and answers. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of background and then kick it over to Josh to tell you intimately about our story. We are essentially a tech boot camp based in Nashville, Tennessee. That's what we started as. We like to call ourselves more of a workforce development company today. Our goal is essentially to help diversify tech by providing people of color with opportunities to get tech positions in high demand skills. And we do that through training in different boot camps related to cybersecurity, data analytics, and software development using a virtual 20-week format. So I'm going to let Josh give you a little bit of background about Pivot from our story perspective, as well as our team.
Yeah, so again, thank you all so very much for joining us. This is awesome to see everyone. I can't really see, I just see your names, but yes, we're working on that as a part of the screen that's blocked out, those black blocks. We're going to get those out of the way so you can actually see the presentation. But yes, this all kind of started in 2019. On the left, that's the beautiful building that I used to occupy. I had 3 businesses in that building. I had a co-working space, an event space, and a dry cleaners. I owned all 3 of those businesses. And in the co-working space, I was really looking to really transition that into more a tech innovation hub. So went to Austin, Texas with the Nashville Chamber of Commerce. And really, we was there to study all of the infrastructure of Austin, from transportation to health and wellness to everything that had to do with a thriving city. We was there to really just get that information and really transform that and bring that back to Nashville. Well, every time we was going to all these technology hubs, we were, everywhere we were going, they was learning how to code. They were in there building tech companies, and I looked around, nobody looked like me. And I was inspired from that trip to really make a difference, to say, hey, how can I bring this same energy back to Nashville, Tennessee? So that was the goal that we had, or what I had. So I do not, from my background perspective, I do not have a tech background. I am a passionate entrepreneur that really finds problems and creates solutions to create community good. And I think you went back. I think those, I don't know what's going on with these black blocks right there, but I think that's what they're talking about. They're on our screen. So literally came back to Nashville 2019 and really came up with the idea of Pivot Technology School. It was going to be based in the building on your left. Our mind was set on making North Nashville, which is used to be a predominantly African-American area. It houses 3 HBCUs from Tennessee State University, Fisk University, and Meharry. So it has a lot of rich history on Jefferson Street. And so it was my vision to build this innovation hub right there on Jefferson Street to be the change that I wanted to see. So worked on it all of 2019. We finally convinced some people to trust us, to show that, we know what we're doing, put a great team together. I got with my then business partner, my now business partner, which is Quan Clark, and we worked on it. And he has the tech background, so really brought him on, and so we finally convinced a cohort of people to really trust us. And just we only had two areas then. That was just data analytics and software development on the front end side. And so on March the 2nd, we had our orientation in that building on the left. And on March the 3rd, God decided different, and a tornado came and swept through and destroyed what was going to be the Pivot Technology School and the headquarters, and really just destroyed everything I had going on. So I always say that I lost three things and gave birth to a new thing, which is Pivot Technology School. So March the 3rd was our very first day of classes. We was able to pivot from there to the Nashville Technology Council, which they were, gracious enough to open up their doors to us. And soon after, probably about 3 weeks after, the whole world shut down. And so COVID hit. So when COVID hit, we transitioned our whole business model to a virtual model. So pretty much every company had to do it. So from every company that had people going into the office and they weren't really set up for remote work, everybody probably within a month's time had to transition from being in person to a remote model. That changed our whole trajectory. That changed our whole business. And it really just took us to a whole nother level. I always say that God, and I don't know if you all believe in God or nature, whatever you believe in, but God knew that COVID was going to happen and protected us from COVID, gave us a business model that could really survive in COVID. So we grew expeditiously in COVID, and our business just took off. So we've been working with a lot of organizations and companies to do the work that we've been doing, but that's just a little bit about our story. I can tell you more, but that just shows you where we come from. We live literally by the word pivot. We created or came up with that business name in 2019. A lot of people thought that we came up with it in 2020 when the whole world was trying to pivot. No, we came up with it in 2019, not knowing that we would have to pivot, but that has been the secret sauce to our success. So I'll let you, next slide. This is our team. So this is me, I'm Joshua Mundy. This is my business partner. His name is Quan Clark. And I think you can delete, Isaac, can you delete those blocks, or they won't delete? You're on mute.
Do you still see it?
Okay, there we go. It's covering up some, but I think it's just the format, but it's all good.
Okay.
So me again, I'm Joshua Mundy. This is my business partner, Quan Clark. He is co-founder and president. He pretty much runs the day-to-day, oversees the day-to-day operations of Pivot Technology School. You can go next slide. And then this is the rest of our team. So we have Yasanta Wells. She is over Chief Academic Officer. She's the young lady on the left with the black jacket. We have Courtney Rogers is over Operations and Ops. To your right, we have Christian. He is over Student Services. We have Jamila, who is over admissions, and we have Brittany, who assists Jamila in admissions. So that is our complete team. And you have Isaac right there. He's our Chief Strategy Officer. All right, next slide. All right, and this pretty much covers all of the areas that we focus on. So we focus in on three areas. That's it right there. That's it, perfect. So we focus on these three areas. We focus on cybersecurity, data analytics, and software development. Software development, we focus on the front end and back end of development. We started with just front end, but quickly understood that the marketplace needed more full stack developers. So we started creating a full stack development program through our software development track. And then on the data analytics side, we'll be adding healthcare analytics this year, as well as some data science stuff that we'll be adding. And then our cybersecurity program pretty much prepares them to take all of the industry standard certifications. But we have some of the top instructors that are leading these courses that are currently working in the day-to-day of these fields. So we just don't have educators that are just reading it. These are practitioners that are actually teaching our students. Next slide. So
talk a little bit. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So here's the pivot difference, and then we'll get into the strategy. Go ahead, Isaac.
Sure. So one thing that separates us from the competition, I believe, is our approach to how we engage with students. We are dealing with a diverse demographic because that is our core mission. And because of that, we have to make sure that we're understanding the needs of our students and supporting them where they are and where they're coming from, despite whatever circumstances they may face as they enroll into our programs. And so our student liaison and our student success team, they do a really good job of making sure that when students on board, they have the support that they need to finish the program. A lot of tech programs similar to Pivot bring students in and they have high attrition rates because learning technology can be challenging. Our goal is to have 100% retention in every cohort if possible, and we work really hard to make sure that we help people get through. We also offer professional development opportunities, soft skills training. We give our students access to mentors that are in the technology space. We help them with their resumes. We help them with LinkedIn, setting up their profiles. We do mock interviews. We essentially want to make sure that we're empowering our students to be successful in the job search as they start to think about finishing the program and going on into their career. And then also, because we're maintaining a lot of relationships with corporate partners, we're able to put our students in front of these partners, giving them access to the career opportunities that they are seeking once they come into the Pivot program. All right, Josh, I'll let you tackle this one.
So pretty much, everybody is facing this dilemma. They call it the Great Resignation right now. So COVID really exposed the holes that are in technology. And so when people start to resign and people start to look at how every company now is a tech company. So whatever company that you are in or that you have started, every company is in the technology business, and you're going to need some type of tech infrastructure to really maintain your business. So from an attrition standpoint or attraction standpoint, like how are you positioning yourself to attract the top talent? Like what is it like to work for your organization? And if you look at from how people are really approaching work and how everything is coming from a standpoint of, hey, does this benefit my core values? So people are not just taking jobs just to take jobs anymore. It used to be where I used to be able to post a job and then I have a million resumes and people are just taking jobs. But now people are really tapping into, does this align with me? Or does this align with my core values? Or do they believe in empowering their employees? So are you attracting the right talent? And then from a selection standpoint, we really help in all three of these areas. We call it recruit, train, and retain is the three areas that our focus is on. From a recruitment standpoint, how are you opening up your database to really recruit the right people? So when we talk about diversity in a lot of organizations, I see it all over the net. A lot of organizations, as soon as they come into a city, the first thing that they do is they connect with the local HBCU, which is nothing wrong with that. And all right, there's nothing wrong with that approach. But the people that go to the HBCU are kids. Those are kids. They haven't graduated they're freshmen to seniors, and they have not graduated or anything. But that's the first place that they go because they feel like, hey, that's where all the diversity is going to be. If I just go to this university, then they're going to point me in the right direction when it comes to really attracting diverse talent. That is not the case. So really from an organizational standpoint, how do you communicate to your community? So if you're based in Nashville, or if you're based in Alabama, or you're based in Georgia, how do I disseminate the message that, hey, my organization has these openings and we're open to really bringing on diverse talent. So a lot of times, we want, and a lot of things change. So let's just be honest. Before 2020, it was status quo. All right. Everything was status quo. People were really not talking about diversity much. They talked about it, but it was just a line item. And they was like, okay, if we just write a check to the local nonprofit, this is going to be okay. And it was all right. And we have really kicked the can down the road for years. 2020 was the Great Awakening. We already know what happened in 2020, the George Floyd situation. The George Floyd situation happened in such a timing that you just couldn't really predict. All right. So George Floyd's happened every day in our community. All right. But this one was really just unique because the world shut down. You was at home, you had nothing to do, and you couldn't run from it. So you had to really experience that. And then every organization said, hey, all right, they haven't just been complaining for the last 30, 40 years. There is a problem. So everybody started creating these initiatives around, hey, how can we create more diversity? How can we attract more people to come and work for our organization? The problem is that we want to bring all these people on, but our culture is not prepared to bring on all this diversity. So from a tech standpoint, look at really what tech has been defined as. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's just what it is. So from a tech standpoint, most tech shops are filled with either white males or Asian or Indians that have really filled out tech. So when we talk about diversity and when we talk about underrepresented communities, it's not poor people. We're talking about women. We're talking about all different demographics when it comes to really diversity. So now we are looking to bring all these people on. Let's get our land together. I always say we have to get the land together. Our land is our foundation. Is the foundation, and that's a question that you have to ask yourself as an organization or as an HR leader, is hey, we have these initiatives, but is our foundation ready to really bring on, attract, but really retain? At the end of the day, it's really about retention. What costs organizations more and more money is that they have a carousel of open, close, open, close. So people are coming in, they'll bring someone on, they don't feel comfortable, they quit, and then it's just this circle. So I say one of the points that I really want you as an organization to really realize and say, hey, before we tackle this diversity issue, let's look from within. All right. Is our organization prepared? Yes. Is our organization prepared to really bring on this type of talent? Is our organization prepared to bring on junior level talent? And let's sit in on junior level talent. So again, the pandemic really exposed a lot of things. So exposed that most organizations were now senior heavy. Senior meaning senior level developers, senior data analysts, like all these senior level leadership. So guess what? Every organization is hunting for those same 10 people that are in software development. So what's happening within the tech industry is that everybody is leveraging their experience to go and get the next money. So, all right, I'm a senior level developer for your organization. Guess what? Oracle is coming to town. You're paying me at your organization maybe $120,000. Now Oracle is saying, hey, I can pay you $220,000 to leave that and come over here. And that's happening all over the tech spectrum. So now tech organizations, or now organizations in general, have to say, all right, we have to develop from within. And that is really our calling card when it comes to tech diversity and tech strategy. So let's really just talk about some of the things that we've been able to do from a tech strategy standpoint. So more organizations are really realizing, hey, we can't really fill these senior level roles. What do? We have this one senior level developer. We're really overworking him. He's probably about to quit soon. And we're really going to be stuck on how can we attract new levels of talent? How can we start developing next levels of talent? So let's just take a case study that what we've been able to do and has been really found it to be successful about really creating your own internal tech talent pipeline, your own internal tech talent pipeline. So you don't have to go and find everything. We always say we're always chasing the next hottest thing. So we are all out. All these organizations are out competing for the same 20 or 30 people when you can really start investing in your people. So Isaac, I'll let you cover what we've done with SHIP, and then we'll just lean in and talk about really some of the strategy portions of it.
Sure. Thank you, Josh. Shift is an example of a great success story for us. But let me just kind of take a step back and talk a little bit more about something that Josh mentioned. I worked in the tech industry as a computer engineer. I also worked as a professor on the campus of the HBCU, and I got to see all sides of the tech dilemma. And organizations are really scrambling for tech talent, especially diverse tech talent, given where we are in this day and age. What we've done at Pivot is we've been able to identify a great approach to bringing diverse talent into our programs, get them the training that they need, get them access to or exposure to opportunities within the technology industry. But we've also done something else that's very unique. We've decided that we're going to work with organizations to develop their talent within while also training people in the community to be prepared for these tech opportunities. So Shift is a perfect example of this, one of our biggest success stories. They're an online delivery company based in Birmingham. They were having challenges finding adequate amounts of technology talent, specifically in the local market. And so our partnership with them was very unique in that we worked with Shift to train people that are already working at Shift. And we also created opportunities for people in the Birmingham community to get the same access to technology skills training that Shift employees were getting. So we piloted this program with Shift. Shift underwrote the expenses for this program. And out of over 400 applicants, we had 17 Shift employees and 17 Birmingham residents basically qualify for software development and data analytics training. They accomplished that over the course of a few months. And in December, that group graduated, and 30 plus of those individuals were placed within tech roles within Shift's organization. So they were able to take talent from the community, bring them into the organization, but they were also able to take talent that already existed within their company and essentially upskill those individuals and get them to be prepared for roles within Shift. So this is a model that we're really leaning heavily in on. In addition to working with people in the community, helping them pivot their careers into technology, we're exploring more corporate partnerships and telling companies you can train talent within using this upskilling approach.
Yeah, and
go
also,
ahead, Josh.
And really, really the approach, and I really want to talk about the approach because one of the main things that I hear often when I talk, and all I do is talk with organizations and companies and figure out where they are. The number one thing is that they say is we cannot find the talent. That's the number one thing. We cannot find the people that are able to come and fill some of these roles. So let's just talk about that. So we had, and let me just clarify one thing as well. Just because we work with underrepresented communities does not mean that they're not educated. That does not mean that they don't have a college degree. That does not mean that they don't have a skill set or soft skills. It doesn't mean any of that. They have just been lacking an opportunity. So there are so many people within the community that just need that opportunity so that they can really change their life. So we had 30 spots with this SHIP program that we were filling from within and in the community. We put it out there from our strategic marketing channels. We had over 450 people apply for 30 spots. 450 people applied for 30 spots for an opportunity. So what we really believe that what can really change the game is that organizations create tangible outcomes. That when you're just going through and then there's no tangible outcome, then you won't attract the talent. But if you have a tangible outcome to say, hey, we're going to put you through a program that, hey, if you have to interview for it, if you show the skill set, we're going to have an opportunity as a job for you. So now when we talk about community impact, we're talking about this is a way that your organization can make community impact. So we're taking people that were making probably $12 to $14 an hour. Listen, we're taking people that was making $12 to $14 an hour in Alabama. Now we have taken those same people and they're making close to $55,000 to $60,000 with this skill set. So when we're talking about closing gaps, when we talk about closing wealth gaps and racial equity gaps and all those different things, this is a way that you do it. Tech is essentially will be the bridge to economic prosperity. And it's up to us and programs like ours that can really get people these skill sets to really, really transform what they're trying to do. So that's what we've been able to do with SHIP. They were uber excited. We're doing it year after year after year because they have huge tech needs. So they were really an anomaly because they were really on board in the beginning and said, hey, we want to really invest in our people. So that's why we asked that poll question, is your organization ready to invest in tech diversity? Because it's going to take an investment. It's not going to take you just saying, all right, I got these jobs on the job board and I still don't, I still don't have the talent that I need. No, it's going to take an investment or strategic investment to say, hey, how can I partner with somebody that is actually doing the work on a daily basis to really help us meet our company objectives? So SHIP was able to do that. They did that very, very well and really answer the poll questions. And we're ready to see if you're ready to do this because there are models that work. What will really work with SHIP and really what we do and the secret sauce of what we do is that our tech team went in SHIP and created 2 custom programs. So we're not rigid. We're not saying, hey, you got to do software development, you got to do what we've already built. No, we got with SHIP and said, hey, what are you all doing? What is your greatest need? Their greatest need was software development. They had a language called Golang that they really work in. And then they had a data science need and a data analytics need. Our tech teams went in, we created custom curriculum that taught Golang, and then we taught data science and data analytics. We created 2 custom programs. So for 20 weeks, they were not only learning information, but they were learning information that they were going to be applying on the job. So they didn't just learn for 20 weeks and then got that information, went on the job, and then your employees have to train them all over again. No, they learned some information that they can really apply right there in real time. And we work with them to have 1 year of one-on-one mentorship within the organization. When I say recruit, train, and retain, our retention model is that once they're done with the program and they're currently working for your organization, then everybody that's the new on board, they get a mentor. They get somebody that's going to really work with them. They have questions because we really deal with a lot of the mental. It's the, do I have the ability? Do I feel like I can do it? It's the imposter syndrome. Everybody has it. At some point or another, everybody has imposter syndrome where they don't feel like they can do it. They have the skill sets, but they talk themselves out of it. So we have a retention model that within that first year, they're going to get all the support services that they need so they can be extremely successful going through working for a new organization. So you can go to the next slide. We've done the same thing with Amazon. Amazon was a little bit different. This program really challenged everything we had going on because, it was from a timing standpoint. So to really put programs like this together, it takes about at least 2 months to really recruit, train, and retain on the recruitment side of anything. It takes about a month and a half to recruit all the people that we need. Amazon just put us under the pressure, gave us 2 weeks to recruit 10 people. We had to build this custom curriculum in no time, but this program actually worked. So from the 10 people that we started, 10 residents, that was in the height of COVID. So a lot of things happened. People were catching COVID, and it was a lot and I really wanted to show you this, hey, we do have sometimes where, hey, the program works, but then life happens as well. But through this program, 4 people was able to transform their lives, and it's different at Amazon. So these 4 people were making about $30,000 to $35,000 a year. They now have an internship with Amazon, making $95,000 a year. Let me say that again. These 4 individuals that were, 2 African-American young men, one young lady and another guy that was Hispanic. Those 4 people got job offers through the program, making $95,000 a year as an intern. So those are the type of success stories that we really hone in on to say that if you create opportunities, the people will come. If you create the open mentality is saying that we are open to serve our community without bias. All right, let's really cover bias. Bias is really strong, in which some of the questions I get, sometimes they are so disrespectful that I'm like, bias is real. And we have to really transform our minds as hiring managers, as people that are making decisions, that I will not activate the bias that I already have built in. I will fight against the biases that I have built in, and I will create opportunities in those organizations for talent in general, and specifically for diverse talent, so that we can really change the trajectory of our communities. So next slide.
Before you go into the next slide, I wanted to just kind of highlight something that you spoke to here. Both with the case of Shipt and Amazon, we saw a strong commitment from their leadership to shift the diversity narrative within their organization. And that's how these partnerships essentially came about. They saw what we were doing as an organization. They had the specific focus to make sure that they brought diverse tech talent into their company, and everything worked well from there because we're all aligned in terms of the mission, right? So that's what we want. We want to see more organizations say, we have the ability to move the needle as it relates to tech diversity, and we're going to go out and find partners to make it happen. And we want to be a partner in doing that. And it works very well when the leadership is already bought in, they're already committed. We all know the numbers, we all understand the challenges, but it does take leadership in the upper levels of the organization to make the commitment and the financial investment so that these programs can happen and so that we can affect the change that we seek to affect. So these are just 2 examples of custom cohorts. Josh is going to talk next about another success story that has a little bit of a different approach, and then we'll get to a little bit of our wins, and we'll end with questions and answers.
Yeah, so this is something, when we built out our business plan, when launching Pivot, we really not only wanted to prepare the workforce, but we wanted to create opportunities for the workforce. So you all are getting it first, hot off the press. It has not been launched in the press yet, but we've been quietly working on our MSP. So MSP is a managed service provider that we're able to go and work at organizations as a contractor and be able to hire our students. So, hey, what we run into all day long is, hey, Josh, I really love what you all are doing, but we don't hire juniors. I hear that 50 million times a day. where, hey, we love what you're doing. We love diversity, but hey, we don't hire juniors. We only hire mid-level and senior level developers. So what we have done is we created a MSP that is out actively going out and getting contract work so that we can hire our students led with a senior level developer to go out here and get contract work so that they can cut their teeth with us. They can get the experience they need with us. Then they can leverage us to go out here and get some real money. So US Smokeless Tobacco is one of our biggest clients to date. We are currently running their whole data infrastructure program at this plant. This is a manufacturing plant that we're currently running their data department. Guess what we were able to do? We're able to create jobs. So we have 5 students that are currently working on this contract, led with a senior level developer that's running data analysis to help them make better business decisions. So now, not only are we going to be training individuals, but we're going to be actually giving individuals an opportunity to work. One thing about Pivot Technology School, one thing you will learn about Joshua Mundy, if you may not know me, but if you follow me or whatever, is I'm not going to ask too many times, all right? I'm not going to be begging and pleading. No, I'm going to go and find a solution. And so the MSP is a really great solution to answer the problem of, hey, love what you're doing. They have no experience. We have no room for them. So we want to give individuals that are coming through our program the experience so that they can really utilize it and really thrive. So US Smokeless Tobacco is one of our latest wins. We'll currently be working with Core Civic as well, building a really dope program that we're going to be working on with them that has not been announced just yet. You all are getting a hot off the press take being a part of this workshop, but we're launching the MSP officially to the community in February. So if your organization has opportunities where a lot of companies are just hiring contractors nowadays, they're not bringing on any full-time employees, or they're bringing on contractors as companies like ours. From an MSP standpoint, we will be able to fulfill those needs and be able to hire and create opportunities. So when you hire our MSP, just know that you're going to be creating opportunities for 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 people that may have not had this opportunity to be able to cut their teeth and be able to be a successful placement for you down the road. So US Smokeless Tobacco is a good, huge win for us. And we're going to continue to work with organizations around MSP work.
The beauty of these types of opportunities is that many organizations do have businesses that they contract with, right? A lot of companies outsource technology services in many areas. We just met with a major healthcare company who outsources most of their IT. This positions Pivot to be somewhat of a diversity supplier, right? That's something that many organizations are now also looking at. In addition to tech talent, what about our supply diversity relationships? Well, we're positioned to be able to support you there as well. So these are just some of our additional partners that we've worked with in terms of providing opportunities for individuals within their organization. For example, with Deloitte, we're now a part of their educational process within the organization. So if employees at Deloitte want to get tech skills training, Pivot Tech School is a vendor within Deloitte at the corporate level. That's been a great win for us. We recently had, I think, about 7 individuals from Deloitte finish one of our recent tech cohorts. Josh mentioned Core Civic, Dollar General, HealthStream Provider Trust. We also have other partners that we work with that support us with demo days. So when our students are developing technology in their program, we give companies essentially early exposure to what the students are doing. And so companies like HealthStream have sponsored demo day programs and have coached students and given them feedback on their team projects. Josh, you want to mention anything else here?
No, that's about it. So, these are some of the organizations that we've either placed people on actual jobs, or they've been able to create opportunities from a scholarship standpoint to really give back to the community as well. So, we are daily talking with organizations really to see the need, and they're actually making active investments. So this list is growing by the day, and we'll hopefully after this, it will continue to grow.
Yep. So just a few wins, and then we'll get into any questions and answers anyone has. Just this month, our organization was certified at the state of Tennessee as a post-secondary institution. So we have that designation. We are being recognized as a finalist for Startup of the Year from the Greater Nashville Technology Council. Josh won the CEO of the Year from Nashville Entrepreneur Center. We've been in the Tennessean, the Business Journal. We ended last year with the story in Forbes. This pivot train is rolling. We want you to be a part of this movement with us. We are intending to do more and more and more as it relates to a few things. One, diversifying the technology industry and giving companies access to diverse tech talent pipelines internally and externally, but also closing the racial wealth gap by giving people of color access to higher paying jobs, which we know will transform their families. So at this time, we'll take any questions or answer. We'll take any questions and we'll provide answers for anyone.
And we're gonna, you can just stop the screen share.
Yep, sure.
There you go, perfect. If you all want to turn your, I guess now we can't see anybody, but if you have any questions, we would love to answer. Okay, Chad has his hand up, so I think you have to.
Okay, let's see.
Speak.
Let me just see if I can bring this. All right, Chad, go ahead. You're on mute, but go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, first of all, this is a great model. Congratulations to you and your team for putting this together. It's phenomenal. I manage all the STEM programs at UNCF and connect with HBCUs around the country. I also am the co-founder of CS for Philly here in Philadelphia. And we're always trying to figure out how to connect the dots between African-American youth at K-12 and even post-secondary. How are you guys thinking about Pivot Tech in terms of building bridges, particularly for African-American kids who are coming through middle school, high school, with, some interests in technology, may not know about, how to connect to internships and jobs, and even for HBCUs that have African-American students who are CS majors looking for opportunities. How are you guys thinking about that?
Great question.
Great question.
Yeah, I'll just say really quick, we set up Project Pivot last year as our philanthropic arm, Chad. And Project Pivot is where all of our youth-focused work exists. We are currently building out that program and are working with our local community to give young people, specifically K through 12, access to tech skills training, tech education, after school programming. We're working this summer to have a summer camp available for young people. Josh and I have young sons, and so we're excited about our sons being able to even participate in these camps. What you're saying is important. We know early exposure matters, especially as it relates to STEM and communities of color. And so Project Pivot is our way to accomplish that. And we'd love to talk with you about collaboration as well.
Yeah, please do. And great job. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then also too, I'll say, Chris, from a HBCU standpoint, that is a model that we're going to be tapping into pretty much all of the HBCU computer science recipients to really figure out ways to place them on jobs in these corporations. So we're working on something with Amazon right now from a HBCU recruitment standpoint to recruit some of the computer science degree majors into opportunities at Amazon. So those two people that I talked about that got the jobs at Amazon, two of those were recent graduates from Tennessee State University that went through the program, through the computer science program, went through our boot camp, and then got those opportunities making $95,000 a year. So we're going to be working definitely with HBCUs to really expose them. And we look forward to working with you, Chris.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
No problem. Any other questions that you all may have? I do know that, like the preacher say, you don't want to just like give a summary of what was discussed. So, we really believe in three things: recruit, train, and retain is the three objectives that we really feel that we can help any organization with. Do you have activities in Atlanta? So here's our business model. Okay. Abel Henry, here's our business model, and this is how we try to enter new markets. So we enter new markets by getting or letting a corporation enter us into those markets. So we have been trying to penetrate Atlanta for the longest. But what we're going to do is we're just working or looking for a corporate partner to really get us into those markets. So Microsoft, we're in talks with Microsoft right now. We are in the last stages of signing the contract. So Microsoft will propel us into the Atlanta market, and we'll be doing a lot of stuff in Atlanta. So technically, we can work with anybody. We are a global organization because this virtual model has expanded our reach. So we have students all across the country. We had a cohort last night of 40 individuals. Half were from Nashville, half were from Florida, Atlanta, Dallas. They were a little bit from everywhere. So we work with organizations all across the country as well, because virtual has changed the game, and we have instructors all across the country that will be able to teach and deliver the content. So yes, we are Atlanta. We're going to be knocking on Atlanta's door in 2022. First quarter, hopefully we'll be heavily in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Atlanta conversations are going well, especially with the Microsoft. I think it's Accelerate Atlanta program that they have going there. We're looking to expand in other markets. When we thought about our expansion strategy, we wanted to look at markets that had Abel, send us your email address, please. We wanted to look specifically at markets that had a large African-American population, as well as a growing base of technology companies, so that we could go into those markets and essentially be a bridge. And so when we thought about expanding, Birmingham was on our list. That ended up landing with Shipped. We looked at Microsoft with Atlanta. We've been in conversations with Tulsa and some organizations there. Little Rock, Arkansas, Montgomery, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi. We're thinking about markets where our people have not often been able to get access to opportunity and have dealt with economic challenges, so that we can go in there and change the narrative. So if you are in other markets and you're looking for an organization like Pivot, please reach out. Our email is in the chat. We do calls all day, every day, and we are willing to travel too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abel, for your email.
Oh, yes, they put all the information in. Any other questions? You can really get in. You can really see other work that we're doing at pivottechschool.com, pivottechschool.com. Also, be sure to connect with us on LinkedIn if you're not connected with us. Joshua Mundy on LinkedIn. Very, very active on LinkedIn, so I'd love to connect with you there. Also, if your organization is ready to really have these conversations and really develop a plan and ready to take action, be sure to email us. Our emails are in the chat, but email either me or Isaac, jmundy at pivottechschool.com, or Addae at pivottechschool.com. And we would love to connect with you. We would love to really work with your organization to create some solutions that can really be the change that your organization wants to see around diversity in tech. And then also from a recruitment standpoint. So we're able to do diversity workshops as well. That's a part of what we offer. So when I talk about laying the land or getting the land together, we're able to assist in helping you really toll the land so that you'll be able to onboard all this new, fly, diverse talent. So any other questions that you all have? If not, we're not.
Gosh, we have another question from Peter Qualls, who's a TSU alum and good people. So she's asking about levels primarily. Okay, entry level. So Marquita, we have a lot of corporate partnerships And in those corporate partnerships, we get emails out of the blue with positions ranging from entry level to senior. It just depends on the week and what the organization's needs are. So while we are primarily training people in our programs to assume entry level positions when they graduate, we do have corporate partners and relationships, and they're always reaching out to us, asking for resumes and different things like that. So we can be a resource if needed. Feel free to reach out and we can have that conversation and think about that pipeline too. Let's see. Have you been preparing to answer? Okay, Kenny. Yes, great question. So our students are aware. Our team, our admissions team, our students, we are all very aware of the pay gaps and pay inequity as it relates to tech, specifically when we talk about women and gender pay. We do have those conversations. We do talk with individuals that are coming out of our programs about what they can expect, what the job market demands, but we'd be happy to connect with you and exchange information and share any insights as well.
Yeah. And then also too, I really when I talk to organizations, I really talk to them about not lowballing junior level talent. And I really, really lean in on that. So if they're going to work with us, you have to unload the wallet. It's like, let's just be fair. Just because I'm bringing underrepresented, that you're not going to start somebody off at $40,000. You can go get that at Chick-fil-A. So we're not going to do that. We're going to give people the fair chance and give them what industry standard is, which is $65,000 generally, or $55,000 to $65,000 on a junior level tech role. So that's what we lean in and get organizations to do. But thank you all so very much for spending your time, spending your lunch break, talking with us. Be sure to connect with us. We are excited to connect with you. And this will be up for replay. So if you want to share this throughout your organization, you can. Just do not share it with our competition. They.
Yeah, we'll get this out to everybody in email.
But again, thank y'all so very much. We'll be in touch. God bless.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.